It's been a while. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know that it has been a long time and I do apologize for that. November 15 just passed. Yes, it is November 17, and I want to believe that a lot of us have something that are common applications. For those of you that your financial aid application is also due November 15. I hope you guys were able to submit, or if you're still working on it. I do hope this video is just helpful one way or another, because I feel like this is the important part that a lot of people have been waiting for. So in my last video, I answered sections A and B both for uh, the ISFA and the ISAFA, and so we're going to remain and what remain. Okay, we're going to move on to 20 to section C, question 20 on the ISAFA. So it says use this place to explain any unusual stuff. So here is where you'll be explaining things like some people are orphans, some people are partial orphans. That's not funny. Um some people just have like extenuating circumstances. Maybe you have a family member that is sick, and that's where majority of your parents' funding go to. Maybe your parents' business suffered a significant loss, and so if you feel like this space is not enough, like I said, you can use additional sheet of paper. I would advise you to probably type it up and just scan it and attach it to this so it's easier for them to read. But if you feel like writing is what you're comfortable with, please do that and make sure you scan it perfectly. Um, just wanted to mention that scanning is literally the same thing as taking a picture of it. Just make sure you have a clear camera and you're good to go. Please specify any barriers or challenges you face in providing supplementary documentation. So I do not know how it works in every country, but in Nigeria, it takes a bit for your bank statement to come out, especially if you're applying to certain schools that require like a bank letter and stamp to, come with the bank statement. That's for those of you that are getting the bank statement directly from the bank. So you might want to explain that the process is very long, but like that's how it is in Nigeria. So I do not feel like that's a barrier. Like if you know that, okay, when I submit my ISAFA or my ISFA today, my bank statement might not come in 1 month, not until 1 month later. You might want to use this space to explain. Obviously, there's no space, carry extra sheets of paper. People like you that is carry extra sheets of paper in the example. This way you're supposed to shine. Um, 22 is also obviously additional information. You guys, please feel free to put in whatever you think it is that might help you with your financial aid. Help the school with financial aid decision. If your mother is the only one taking up the finances, if you guys are truly, 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 truly struggling, you might want to, explain that here. And I do know that it's a bit personal, so you feel free to put it on there, because at the end of the day, you obviously can cut out the parts that are very personal or hurtful at some point in time as you wish. So question 23 says select circumstances with ongoing impact, financial impact applied to your family. So if you're from, I think it was Bayelsa that had the flood earlier this year, you might want to put that select catastrophic. Um maybe so all of these things here, but if you feel like none of these things apply, just click none. But if you feel like something applies but it's not written here, please click other and attach a sheet again. To explain section D, obviously housing plans. If you're an international student, it is very if you're an international undergraduate student, it's very advised to live on campus. Even for graduate students, I would advise you to live on campus because in my calculation, it is cheaper. I'm obviously gonna do a whole video about that. I have exciting things coming up for you guys, don't worry. Admission. So please make sure this is the point where you need to be careful. Remember, this is the ISAFA, right? And so the school's name doesn't pop up here or doesn't show or is not there. So you want to be very careful about that, because imagine you're applying to one school and in your common app you chose early decision, which is ED. So for those of you that have been like, why should I always say ED? That's what I mean. And for those of you that chose like early action, so don't mix it up with the schools, even though the ISAFA is the same. Like, do you get? So this is probably the only part that will be different um in your selection process. So what you would probably do is When you're done with this, I think this is fillable online. Yeah, perfect. So once you select this, then submit it to the early action school. Come back here and select regular decision, guys. Don't make mistakes, or better still, do everything separately. Okay. So that's section C and D. Let's answer section C in the ISAFA. You can see that they're a bit different. So section C says, I hope you guys can see it, to be honest. So we'll shrink. Gone. What documentation will you be provided to verify income and asset information requested on this form? So for those of you that your parents file taxes, you could submit that, or a statement from their employers, or if you're submitting your parents' payslip, especially if they're government officials, then that's where you put it in. They're submitting a pay slips, and then bank statements. Yes, write it or type it. What is the official exchange rate of your currency? So this is very important, that make sure that, so at the last part of this ISFA, there is the date completed. Now, not date submitted. So the day you finish the ISFA, preferably leave section 18. So if you know, okay, I can finish my ISFA in one day, then use the exchange rate for that day, that hour, if your country's currency is currently changing like mine. But if you know that, oh, our currency is stable, then just put what is. So now the date's completed. Please make sure that you're like being honest about that. It doesn't have to tally with the day you submit it. If it's the same day, obviously yes. But if it's not, please put the day you actually completed it, so that they know that exchange rates might have changed. Like Naira can be 1 2 today, can be 1,000 tomorrow. All right. So if you're applying with a group of people, like you guys are helping each other out, just know that some people might not submit the same day, and some people's exchange rates on their forms might be different simply because of the days. So make sure to check that out. Does your government currently impose restrictions on the exchange and release of funds for study in the United States? Nigeria did that before, but they do not do that anymore. I do not know about other countries, so please feel free to check that out. I think I should start learning about other countries. But feel free to, if it's yes, obviously describe the restrictions. If you feel like you need more space, extra sheet of paper, gang, please make sure that you attach an extra sheet of paper explaining that. Do you have a source of emergency funds once you arrive in the US? You should, no matter how small it is. So yes, the name of the source could be your parents, family income, mother's income, father's income, auntie, uncle, family member, sponsor, anybody. Amount available in US. Please put the amount, the equivalent of that amount. Remember, from this time onward, the exchange rates you put in question 18 is what you're using to answer all the other questions down. So keep that in mind. So how will you pay for transportation to the United States? So you can see here that they've already put parents' income, sponsor. So you might want to just put parents' income, while in some schools, like their financial aid package comes with a flight ticket. So you might say that, okay, the financial aid package for this school comes with a flight ticket which I'm hoping to receive once I've been accepted to school, like that explained during 2019. Remember, okay, so this ISPA that I got is for 2021, 2022. So if you were applying for 2024, 2025, they will be asking you questions about 2022. So during 2022, how much of your household income before taxes or expenses came from the following sources in US dollars? So this is basically your gross income. So all of this puts it in dollars. I hope it's explanatory. Family real estate holdings, basically if your dad or your family, like they are landlords, yeah, that's real estate. Would there be a significant increase or decrease in your family's income next year? If you know that, okay, maybe one of your parents is retiring and the income might decrease before he finally gets his footing or her footing, then you can put yes. But if you feel like no, nothing is changing, then no. So this is why I said some of you might have to sit down with your parents, in case like your parents don't really, you know, allow you to know like the financial stuff. So moving on to section D in the ISFA, just to clarify, it's basically the same thing, guys. So they are asking for the dates really like close. So you can see that the ISFA has option for pay slip, and so if your country also has this affidavit, you can submit that. So the date you put here, sorry, the exchange rate you put here, make sure that that is the date you're putting here, okay? the same questions basically. And now this is now section E, and so you can see the 2020. So this is the 2024, 2025, and they're basically asking you questions for 2022. All right, guys. So they're asking you that, and so you see all of these questions. Does this parent have a retirement? So these are personal questions that you should know how to answer. And yes, so I've answered all of these. So I'm going to move on to section F, which is basically property and assets. So we're also in section D in the ISFA, which is basically assets formation. I think I should answer from here. Okay. So do your parents or legal guardians have a bank account? Yes, they do. Does your parents or legal guardian own their home? So when they say own, that means like, so it's very different, but it's not different. So if your parents are renting, obviously they don't own the home, but like if it's for them, yes, it's for them. What year was it purchased or built? Um, I think the fashion of buying houses that have been built up already just started trending in Nigeria. So that might not be the option for you. So if it was built, or if it's the land, guys, put it, because I feel like Nigeria is land you buy. What's their business to build it? What was the original purchase price or cost to build? So you put that in the in dollars. How much does your family still owe? You can't owe land in this country. So well, in Lagos. So you put zero there. What is the present market value, if you know? So that means that if your parents were to sell that house, how much would it cost? If your home was not purchased or built, how was it obtained? That shows the mercy of God is showing our life. If that's your case, obviously explain that. Does your family own a business? Yes or no? So if yes, that's why you would complete sections 36A. They mean a bit 37A to D. Mistake, people of God. So yes, if they own their own home, that's when you answer A to D. If it's no, move on to 37. If 37 is also no for you, just move on. So your parents' share of business value. So that typically means that if like what's your parents share, basically that's the layman term that I can use for it. And then the type of business that they are running, your parents share of business indebtedness. So that means that if your company or their company or the family company is sort of running on, not running, or has some loans, how much are your parents expected to pay back? How much English? So 37, please list the value of family assets in US dollars if applicable. If applicable, follow instructions. Land and building other than the one for your home and your business. So business land would probably be like a poultry or an actual business building. Assets owned by students. If it doesn't pass $100, you don't need to fill it out. Savings, investments, money owed to family by others. So how much is your family owing other people? How much does your family expect to pay back this year? This year is what, 2023. Other like jewelry, parents, if you have parents that keep like gold with them. So do you or your family have money, property, or assets in another country other than your country of residence? So if it's no, you don't need to fill that out. If it's yes, then you would have to fill out this and include the amount in 37 above. So that would be here. And you also put that here, countries, assets owner, could be your parents or your family member. Do you or your family own an automobile? Yes or no? That's a car basically. So do you own one? Yes or no? If yes, complete 39A and B, make and year manufacturer. There you go. Section G, expenses. So we're gonna basically it's the same thing here, just it looks finer. So this is also asking repayments, money owed, asset owned by students. So for this ISAFA, sorry, for ISFA, they are not asking you whether it's less than 100. They're just asking you. So if it's $20, put it there. It's still something. It doesn't matter. Does your family own expenses? So section E is expenses. Let me answer that here. So how much did your family spend on expenses during 2022, guys? It's 2020 during 2023 for this ISAFA. For this, it would also be 2022 or 2023, which is why I said make sure you are following, like, make sure you're filling out the form for the year that you're trying to come in. If you're coming in next year, August, that's 2024, 2025, guys. So rent or mortgage, remember, if you said up there that, oh, we own our own home, this part should probably be zero, except you're paying rent on like the business building, right? Utilities, which is like electricity. I don't think I need to explain all of these things. Household expenses, all of that. Educational expenses, guys, keep in mind you've already put how much your siblings in school are, you know, um, how much your parents are putting towards your siblings' school. So you might want to put the total up here, the loans they're paying back, taxes. If you know that your parents don't file taxes and you put the taxes that here and you message the school, you are contradicting yourself. So please keep that in mind. Insurance, vacations, servants, for those of you that have like house helps, other, please explain how much does your family owe to other people or to the bank or financial institutions. So put that here. The reason for the debt, maybe to expand the business or anything. Does your family employ other people? If you have house helps, you put yes and you put them here in the home. But if they just have like sales girls, assistants in the family business, then yes, that's where you would put the number. Um, let's go to this G. So it's basically the same thing. So sources of financial support. So they're asking you for the entire 4 years that you're going to be in school, how much is it that you're going to be able to put towards your own education, or how much is your family going to be able to put? Now, if you're applying to a school like Bucknell, they expect you to put a 15% increase, or sorry, is it 15? No, 3% increase on the year before. So if you were saying that, okay, in 2024, 2025, I'm going to put $500 towards my education, like from my own earnings. So I'm just going to advise you to use the rule that Bucknell uses. It's not advisable to use the same amount for the entire 4 years. Why? Because in a lot of schools, tuition increases, like school fees increases, but also because of attendance increases. Even though, yes, they will meet that if you're fully funded at the beginning of like enrollment in that school, but it's still reasonable to let them know that I acknowledge that there will be increases and will also be increasing our contribution. So 3% of $500 is $515. Then 3% of $515 is, guys, I'm doing calculation here, 530.45 cents times 0.03 plus 530 plus 1.5. So you have 546.3635. Obviously, if you don't want to follow the 3% range, I would say like that's the lowest. But if you feel like, okay, my parents can continually my parents can continually put a lot of amounts into my school, yes. So now if you know that nothing is coming from you, which is totally fine, then put something for family or whoever it is, like other sources or outside funding, your uncles, your aunties that want to contribute. Yeah, put that in there and add it together, or just put it in like each column. If there's any additional information about your financial situation not already captured in this form that would be helpful to assess your financial need, please add it here. This is the point where you need to tell them whatever it is that is peculiar to your family, that you feel like they haven't asked this question, but it's something that takes your finances, like the bulk of your parents' finances. You need to keep that in mind. Then section H basically goes that signing this, providing false information may and will jeopardize a student's visa status, and furthermore may result in a college or university revoking its initial decision to enroll the student. So they're asking for the dates completed. Remember that they asked for dates at the top. So those two could be different. That's totally fine. And there you go. That's the end of your financial aid application. Obviously, you're going to send bank statements and stuff with it. So here you go. If there are agencies or government, if more than two, they're asking you to attach a list. Obviously, the ISFA has more like options for you to choose from. If it's order, you can put it here, and they're asking you to explain in section G. So they've basically giving you a big sheet of paper or big space. Like they said, use additional sheets of paper if necessary. And there you go. So for the ISFA, they're only asking for one date. So now it doesn't have to, like, you could be filling out the question 18 today and submit your ISFA in December. Just put the date you completed it. That's the cocoa of the oral. Right. Let me even see something. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope this has been helpful. Like they always say, providing false information may jeopardize a student's visa status, and furthermore, may result in a college revoking its initial decision to enroll the student. I hope this video has been very helpful to you guys. I do have exciting videos where I will be reviewing different schools for you guys and let you guys know, okay, this school is good to go for you to apply. Obviously, this would benefit some people, and sometimes I feel like I have been receiving certain comments, and they haven't been really nice. So I'm just saying, like, if it's not helpful for you, that's fine. If you feel like there's something that I could improve on, or you have any suggestions, nicely let me know. Okay. I wish you guys the very best in your application journey, and I will see you guys when you guys resume. I'm so excited. Bye, guys.